It's an omen.
Hi there, folks. This is Anthony, better known as Tony, on Bellingham Brothers Productions. We are coming to you not so live because my internet's shit and it's down right now, but we're doing a retrospective and a kind of sort of review of Zero Dark 30, or as we like to call it, Zero Dork 30. Sort of the thing we do with anything that says dark. We just say dork. But anyways, I'm Tony, as I said before, and
I'm the man in the Soviet sweatshirt.
He will be putting up some content very soon. He's been having some issues with recording and stuff like that, but hopefully we can get that stuff solved. He even tried to upload something, but it was too long, so fucking YouTube. Anyways, I guess we'll start off with opening sentiments on the movie. Would you like to kick off the review?
Sure. Zero Dark 30, for those of you living under a rock, perhaps, or without access to TV, the small fraction of beautiful people that you are, believe me, you're better off not having one in some cases. Zero Dark 30 is a movie about the assassination of Osama bin Laden, our friendly, threatening, pointy, bearded, turban-wearing, fun-loving American blower-upper, who I thought was in Yemen, but turns out was in Pakistan. And on, wasn't it like May...
I believe it was May.
Sometime in May 2011.
Yeah, it was May.
Was killed.
May 1st through 2nd, or 1st through 31st, I believe. That's a 30th.
Sometime in May.
Anyways, yeah, May.
Sometime in May. Was killed by a group of U.S. Marines in a compound in Pakistan, which is not where anyone thought it would be.
No, not at all.
So, they made a movie about this because, well, let's see. I was watching TV and then all of a sudden I heard that Obama said we killed Osama bin Laden. I couldn't see a picture of it because we chopped him up and we threw him in the ocean. So, hoaxy, sort of. Well, what were you doing at the time?
I believe, okay, so it was May. I was in class. I think we were watching the news on something. I don't know, I can't remember. I just remember seeing it on TV and Obama going, I killed Osama bin Laden. And I was like, well, that's how.
Yeah. What
Where's your proof?
Yeah. What was the circumstances in which? This
occurred? No, and then the whole rigmarole that they went through with through months of them not actually showing any evidence, and they finally showed pictures to people, and then people are like, oh, okay, so we finally did it. But yeah, for the longest while I thought it was a hoax.
Yeah, people are suckers for pictorial evidence.
Yeah.
Because Photoshop is a myth, right?
No. But anyways,
Liberals.
On with the actual movie, both he and I share the same sentiment that it should not be as good as it was going to be. It was very good. I will be the first to say it, and he'll be the second to say that it was very good. It was incredibly well acted. The atmosphere was fantastic. It was visceral, which, what was it, Bigelow? Catherine Bigelow.
Gigolo Bigelow.
Yeah, she does well, and she's already proven with The Hurt Locker, which is my favorite war movie. And if this wasn't, or if this was more of a war movie, this would probably end up being my favorite war movie.
Yeah.
She's very good at them. She's very good at the nitty-gritty, real deal type of stuff.
Modern warfare.
Yeah, the modern warfare, yeah.
Call of Duty's kind of tainted that.
Yeah, it has.
A little bit, but modern warfare movies.
But she's the best at it, and I really went in not expecting it to be as good as it was. Because I went in not wanting it to be as good as it was. Because I am in the mindset it is too soon. I could have gone, or it could have been better if it had waited at least another year. Another year and I would have been fine. But we are at a point in not our country, but we are at a point in the world right now where a movie like this isn't really needed. Really not needed.
It's a bit tense out there.
And so, it's, again, I will just keep saying, it was very good. And we'll get into the nitty-gritty details of the film, but just a general overview of what I was wanting to get past in this review is that I really liked it. I really didn't want to like it. I'm both mad but happy that it won stuff at, what was it, the Oscars?
It's won, apparently the only thing that's won so far is a Best Actress Golden Globe.
Okay, Golden Globe.
As far as I know. That was according to a mutual friend of ours' mother.
Yeah, it should have won stuff because the actors who played their parts were phenomenal. They really sold their characters, especially the interrogator. My favorite character in the movie was the interrogator. I love that guy. And anyways, I'll pass it on to him because I don't want to hog up the time.
Well, that interrogator had one of the he was in one of my favorite scene in the movie, which is where they were talking about sort of the possibility. One of the big threads in this movie, not to go too terribly into it. This contains massive spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, turn off this review right now.
Yeah.
Go see it, and then turn it back on.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, you saw it. Good. So anyway. The character, the interrogator, the Maya, who is the redhead, I forget what the actress's name is, and the director of operations in Pakistan are all in a room, and she's talking about how, well, we really think that he's important, but we don't know. And it's like, what do you mean we don't know?
We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, well, no, here, let me get to that here.
Yeah.
So the interrogator goes, well, we don't know what we don't know, and then the head goes, what the fuck's that mean?
That was a great scene.
Yeah, I know. It was
That.
by far the funniest scene in the movie. We don't know what we don't know. What the
Yeah.
fuck's that mean? So, anyway, but I too did not want to like this movie. I did not like that it was made. I think it is a very stereotypically American thing, more of an America sort of American thing to do, where we like to create movies about everything we do, regardless of what anyone else thinks, because we think we are the masters of knowing everything ever.
Mm-hmm. Look at all the Vietnam movies.
Yeah. And, you know, it just gets to the point where you don't have to make a movie about everything. Even though we do, we don't have to do it, and we don't get that. So, really with Zero Dark 30, my big problem is we don't need it. This is a movie that, if it wasn't made, there's a book about it. You can read the book. The book is what the movie's based on, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
First-hand account, I believe, of one of the Navy SEALs is what the book is.
Yeah, the book that was... The book of Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30. Yeah.
Yeah, Zero Dark 30. But here's my big thing. Zero Dark 30 is really a good realization story. Because, again, know too much about the assassination of bin Laden. I read a timepiece on it, which gave me the details of the house in Abbottabad, which is a very stereotypical Islamic name. You know, if you think about it, I would have said, oh, he's probably in Abbottabad, you know? It was that sort of...
Was it John Stewart that made that?
John Stewart made that, where it's the name that you joke about him being.
And then we end up finding that he's really there.
No shit. You know? So, that's a funny thing, too. And if you look at what Pakistan did, immediately after we found him there, they got so defensive about it. So there's no doubt that they knew exactly where the fuck bin Laden was.
Yeah.
And they were withholding that shit from us. And we don't like being withheld from.
Yeah. Oh, and as you learn, if you didn't know from real life, from reading or researching this, you learn from the movie that he was like blocks away from Pakistan's equivalent of West Point Academy, which is where people go to learn to be military commanders.
Yeah, the absolute...
Let's let that sink in.
Absolute best in the Pakistani military is trained no less than, what was it, like, half a mile?
Yeah, half a mile away.
No, it was like, the female said, no, it's actually more like 1/18 of a mile.
Yeah. Like, they could use binoculars to look in at them if there wasn't a compound.
So they saw the helicopter from, 12 mics or whatever. I kept thinking mic check instead of, like, mics as in miles. Mic check.
Yeah.
This thing on? Helicopter coming in. Beware. So, like, I think that's really the big reason. I mean, we hate that it was made, but it was made because we know next to jack shit about what happened. So...
And as we will tell you if you haven't already figured it out, or maybe on in later reviews you might figure it out, but we really like history. We like learning about stuff that happens. Yeah. And war movies are some of our favorite stuff to watch.
Because it's violent stuff that happens.
Well, and if it's a very good war movie, like, take, for example, Saving Private Ryan. I know that's an overused example, but that's...
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, those are fantastic. I mean, although Full Metal Jacket has a hint of humor in it, because, that's how it was written.
Oh, yeah.
But they're so well done.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually, like, say, Full Metal Jacket, where they have to kill the kid,
Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Anyways, back on the current movie at hand. I really enjoyed